right, you guys, let's do this page 1. So the first problem you should have done from one of our homework problems. And in case you need a little bit of a reminder, we made an area model at the, try and make it a little bit, nope, didn't even work. At the top is where we had the entrees, so we had like macaroni and cheese and pho and carne asada and burrito and spaghetti and tacos, and along the side we had all the desserts, chocolate cake, key lime pie, chocolate cake, key lime pie, brownies, and cheesecake. So we figured out by doing this that we had 24 boxes. When we made all of the boxes in here, there was 4 this way, 1 for each dessert. We split it into 4s, and there were 6 this way, 1 for each entree, and we figured out that that made 24 boxes. So any probability that we're going to do is going to be out of 24, okay? So B, we already did that. It's going to be 1 out of 24. And part C, if your friend picked her meal randomly, what is the probability that her meal had chocolate cake or brownie? So if it was just chocolate cake, remember it was just 6 out of 24, which was 1/4. But if it was chocolate cake or brownies, it's not 6 out of 24, right? It's 12 out of 24. Or 1/2, so the probability is 1/2, or 50% chance that she will choose either one, that she will get something with either chocolate cake or a brownie, okay? You guys are gonna rock that question on the test, I just know it, just like you guys are going to rock this area model because we've been doing a lot of these. So it's just like a puzzle here. If we have 21x squared here, that means that 7x, that's one side of this rectangle, right? We need to figure out the other side, this side right here, because it's going to be 7x times this side that's going to give us 21x squared. And of course, 7 times 3 is going to give us 21, and x times x will give us that x squared, right? And we also know if this side is 7x, we also know that this side is 7x. So to find the area of this little square here, it's 7x times 4, so 7 times 4 is 28, and there is at least one x here. That 7 has an x, so we got to keep that there. And then if this side's 4, that also means that this side up here is 4, right? And you don't have to write all of these extra numbers. In fact, I don't want to put that 4 there. I just want you to realize that this, that if it's 4 from here to here, that it also means it's 4 from here to here. So we multiplied this side by 4, and we need to figure out what this side was, right, to give me -8. And that is obviously -2. We need the negative to make it negative, and 2 times 4 is 8. And now that we know that this is -2, and we also know that this is 3x, we know that this is going to be -2 times 3 is -6, and x. Now, what I need you guys to remember is to write it as both a sum and as a product, and we'll write them equal to each other. So the product is the outside sides. So this side is 7x minus 2. And this side is 3x plus, that's 4 is positive, 3x plus 4. So the outside is the product is equal to, now we need to add up the insides. We have to combine our like terms. So we know that, I'll just keep this here at yellow, that 21x squared, there's nothing else that is x squared. So that is just going to stay as 21x squared. But we do know that this is x, this term has an x, and this term also has an x, so we can combine those two terms. So we have a -6x and a positive 28x. That leaves us with a positive 22x. And then what other color should I use here? What about pink? Our last box is just -8, and that's by itself. Okay, so we put -8. So where did all of this stuff come from? Let's see. If we go back here to the highlighter, our sides here and this side here became 7x minus 2 and 3x plus 4. And then on the inside, that 8 became this 8. 28 and negative 6 became positive 22. And I did this other one in yellow. Maybe I'll change that. I'll make it red, all red, like it kind of already is here. This 21x squared matches this 21x squared here. All right, so that's all the colors. This one I'm just going to put in the answers. Now you have to have, to turn this in tomorrow, you have to have all of the work in addition to the correct answers that you do. So 11 times what gives me 33? That's 3. And then x times x will give me the x squared. Negative 1 times 11x is negative 11x. 3x times, oh, I need to do this first. Negative 1 times what will give me 5? Well, that's got to be negative 5 because this 5 is positive, and if this is negative, I need another negative to make that positive. Now I know that this square is going to be negative 5 times 3x, which is going to be negative 15x. So my product is going to be 11x minus 5 times 3x minus 1, because that's right, that's a negative 1 right there, is equal to 33x squared minus, I'm going to run out of room here, I'm just have to do this under here. Well, I'll just do it here. Minus, I'll write small. Negative 15 and negative 11 gives me negative 26, so minus 26x plus 5. All right, systems of equations, and then let's practice the calculator. So this is just like the one we did in class. Amelia Earhart, I just want to get this ready. Amelia Earhart also flew solo across the United States. Remember in class, we were talking about her flying just across the Atlantic. The trip across the U.S. lasted 4.15 hours longer than the second trip across the Atlantic, and the two trips combined lasted a total of 34.01 hours. How many hours? Now this is important because this is what the question is asking us. Let me change colors here. The question is asking us how many hours did the trip across the U.S. take? So we know what units our variables need to be in. So let's try this. So x is going to be the trip across the U.S. And, oh wait, the hours, the number of hours that it took, number of hours. And y, let's make y the number of hours to cross the Atlantic. Okay. And together it was 34.01 hours. So we're just going to add, right? X plus y was equal to 34.01. And then it says the trip across the U.S. was 4.15 hours longer. I'm glad that that's bigger because I made x first. So if it's longer than the trip across the Atlantic, if I take that and I subtract my trip across the Atlantic, then what's left over is going to be 4.15 hours. So I have my two equations. Now I can practice using my calculator. And can you guys hear my puppy? He's drinking and snorting. Okay, so we're going to use the matrix. You got to go into the matrix 3 times. Let me just clear out. So I'm going to go in second matrix. Let's just do A. Okay, oops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Second matrix. First we have to go over to edit. Let's pick A. It's already at a 2 by 3. And let's get into the matrix. Okay, so first of all, what is the number in front of the x? Well, we don't see it, but it's just a positive 1. So I'm going to make that 1, enter, and see it writes over whatever was already there, so you don't need to clear it out. And then what's the number in front of the y on the first equation? I'm looking at the first equation here. Okay, the number in front of the y is a positive 1 also, so it's going to be 1 and then another 1. And then those two added up is going to be 34.01. So this last one's going to be 34.01. Now I'm looking at the second equation. I'm looking at the bottom equation. So the number in front of x is 1, but the number in front of the y, this is super important, you guys, is -1. Okay, because we're subtracting. So we're going to do 1 again, but then we're going to do -1. It looks like whatever there was also -1. And then when I subtract, I'm going to get 4.15 hours. Okay, and now here's the important part where I don't understand why, but you have to quit, second quit, then go back into the matrix, then go to math, and then arrow all the way down to RREF. It is letter B. Okay, and then we need to just go back into the matrix the last time, and we just stay right here and we pick which one we use. And hopefully I remember I used A. I need to tell it I used A, and then enter. So here, if you look at the matrix on the calculator where I'm pointing with my mouse, there's a 1 in the first column on the top. So that is, and if you look down here at the equations, x came first. So in the first column, we have 1 on the top. So that means the trip, where the x's are, the trip across the U.S. took 19.08 hours. And that was the answer. And then the bottom equation here, the bottom part of our matrix here in the calculator says 1 is in the y column on the bottom. So that means the trip across the Atlantic was 14.93 hours, which I think we got in class for that one too. Okay, so that's just the first page. I'm going to end this video and send it out, and then I will do a video of the second page.